The following was recorded in front of a live studio audience at the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe. This is the United Podcast Network.
If you're building or buying or selling a home, the Real Estate Crew's got news for you at the Real Estate House Party.
With attorney Rick Carter,
Real Estate House Party.
paralegal Kathy Holtshouser,
Real Estate House Party. Come in, have fun.
and comedian Tony V. Now, here's real estate attorney Rick Carter.
Welcome, and thanks for joining us. We're going to go quickly. Jonathan has to move along pretty
Slow down.
Okay.
This is our half
All
hour.
right,
It's
all right,
our time to
all right.
shine. It's
All
our
right.
only happy half hour.
As we said before, the half hour is still a half hour,
You know,
no matter
right.
how quickly we talk.
If you speak faster,
It doesn't go any
doesn't
quicker?
go it's
All
still
right.
a half hour. You
Thought we'd
just-
get the show done in
My
12
watch
minutes.
is already telling me to breathe.
We just
I need to really relax.
we
okay,
just
guys.
get twice as much foolishness in.
That's right. That's
all.
right.
And we should have
and
we should
speaking
have
of foolishness-
Sal on our as our in the intro because
We should have Sal and I in show.
Yeah, I don't know why. I don't know
why are you sitting so far away from me?
You know
Well,
why.
'cause I kind of want to. I want to be able to see it. It's
you know exactly
it's-
why.
Oh, Sal.
it's the coffee breath.
You know,
Probably is.
restraining orders do have merit.
Yes, they do.
Sal, what have I ever done
Well,
to you?
I want to be able to see you.
Okay.
And there's a bee in here too, so
Oh,
be careful when you
boy.
get stung.
Ooh.
So we got Sal Votano today.
Yeah,
Noel
nice.
and Votano. I'll
Noel
tell you
and
that right
Votano.
now. But a couple of O's, right?
Votano.
Right, exactly, Sal. We used to call you, you're no longer the quitter.
No,
You're coming back to the...
No.
I'm back. I'm
You're
doing
back.
stand-up again.
You're doing
Yeah,
stand-up.
absolutely.
And you were glad you found out about your new father because you had a lot of material for your...
Yep. That's it. When you
come
find out
back.
your dad's not your dad, you get a whole new act. It's great. I love
Right.
it. And God knows I need it. So
Even though I say it's not really a laughing matter.
But Sal
if
says
you
you can
can
make a
make it
laughing
funny,
matter out of
then you go for
We're
it.
here for you, Sal. Do you want to get anything off your chest? Because you have some riveting information today on spec sheets in new construction. But
Really?
yeah,
I like the other subject we were talking about better.
I thought we were going to talk about trannies.
yeah, let's talk about
The
trannies.
automobiles.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's different than what I was thinking.
No, you knew exactly what he meant. You knew exactly what he meant.
Oh my God, new construction is so boring.
All right, so we're going to talk about Sal about family life.
we can make it fun if you want. Let's-
Okay.
We can make it
I don't know how
fun.
you can make new construction really fun, but
All right, well, let me throw
Well,
this
no,
out.
Okay.
Oh, okay.
I had a different idea.
All right, well, let me throw this out, and then you can change gears if you
Okay.
want.
Okay.
All right. Unless you want to throw your idea out now.
Well,
Throw it
yeah,
out,
I
throw it
think
out.
that I mean, whatever you want to talk about, I'm sure
right,
has
right.
merit, and I think it's. But
See how she patronizes
Yeah.
me like that? I'm sure you have an excellent idea, but
You know what they say? Everything before but
yes.
is bullshit.
or however,
Right. In a
or if you
sentence.
have to say,
Right.
don't be offended,
Offended but yeah,
Or-
anything before but.
I am already offended.
Right.
Or
Right.
I don't mean to circumvent this whole show, but
right,
Right,
I'm going to
right.
circumvent the
You're
whole
gonna
show, which
circumvent
means
the whole
everything
show.
before
You
it was
tell me
bull.
if this is not a good idea.
all right, go ahead.
Like
Go ahead.
our audience are typical people that aren't just looking for information.
Yep,
So
yep.
I always, every time we have someone that does new construction or a builder, or I always want to know like what's the latest trend, like, and I'm going to throw out like granite counters or Corian counters or hardwood floors or you know what I mean? Like,
I know the answer to this.
Okay, what is
Oddly enough, because of Game of Thrones, it's parapets.
it? Parapet.
Yes, everybody is putting parapets.
you got to have a
You
parapet.
got to have a
What?
parapet.
Okay, so I have only
What's a
watched
parapet?
one episode of Game of Thrones,
Right.
so I don't know what a parapet is.
it's every time there's a guy up on a top of a castle in between two things and there's a space,
Yeah.
Yeah.
that's the parapet.
Oh.
Right, where
okay.
they go, okay, I'll be safe here, and then he gets an arrow in the neck.
Now you know.
Now you know what a parapet
That's a
is. huh?
parapet.
So okay,
Am I-
so it has
am I
nothing to do
correct?
with kitchens. It's what you
believe
want
you
to
are.
Yeah.
build your house. You want to put a parapet in the house.
I guess so.
With
That-
turrets.
according to Tony.
Turrets?
Yeah.
A turret would be
Yeah, I
nice,
know
a
what turret
little
is.
round
Are
structure.
you saying Tony has an idea that's off course here? Is
It
that
used
what
to be
you're
a
saying?
No, I think it's
cupola.
a great
Now
idea.
it's now
right,
it's
it used to
not.
be cupolas.
Yeah.
Weather vanes were very big for a while.
But those are out.
Those are out, and parapets in.
Okay.
Right.
All right.
And then portcullises will be next.
Oh,
and
what's
then
that?
mulch.
Wait, what's a
A
portcullis?
portcullis is when the gate goes up and the drawbridge goes down. It's
yeah.
access to the
To go over the moat.
to the go over
Do
the
they have the
moat.
virgins jumping in the volcanoes anymore as a sacrifice? Or is
I
that...
do personally, but I don't know if it's a trend.
How do you know any of that, Rick?
Sounds like one of your refis.
right, just sign here, and then of course we're going to need a virgin, and we'll have to find a volcano. Yeah, no problem.
You'll definitely be able to find the volcano.
Sure,
The virgin's
right.
going to be a little
What
tougher.
did you say about your doctor?
My doctor?
What is it? I mean, one of the traditions that they get when they
Oh
die.
yeah,
they
when you
get,
die, you get 77 virgins
right.
at your beck and call. So.
Oh, that's one of the Islam is.
Yes,
they
exactly,
do that, right? You get
exactly.
to-
So I
but
always
say-
worry about my doctor. I want to think because he doesn't care.
Right.
Because if I die, I have
gets
77 virgins.
I know, and he
Right.
just keeps saying you need to lose
Right.
weight. Your cholesterol is too high.
But he doesn't really care because he knows this
You know,
after. I'm thinking.
But plus, think about this. Say
Yeah.
that was
Just
the
let me
incentive.
die, dude.
Right.
Just let me die.
Right. Say that was the incentive. 77 virgins.
Yeah.
That's for eternity.
Right.
That's like a good weekend.
That's a lot of Christmas
Right.
gifts, though.
You know what I mean? And you're sitting there Monday going,
A
now
good
what?
weekend for who?
Now what? I got to do this all over
Right,
again?
now what?
Yeah, but
Another
that,
day
that
of
group
this?
no longer qualifies,
No.
though. You know what I
Now
mean?
you've ruined all
you
the
got to get a whole new
virgins.
77.
Of course.
Right?
Where do they find 77
I
virgins?
know.
In heaven now. This is what I'm saying.
Oh, because you start over?
You start over.
Oh.
Right.
Oh, okay.
All right.
Oh, you've looked into this.
Then why don't you have some cheese and crackers?
I know.
and
I've
some
always wondered because my
cheeseburgers?
doctor.
Plus, can I just say this
Yeah.
being having a history?
being the hedonism you are?
Yeah, I mean, just being an adult male.
Yeah.
You know,
Does that have anything to do with 77 virgins?
Yeah, it does.
Yeah, I'm listening.
listen, I would trade my 77 virgins for one woman who knew what she was doing.
I agree with that.
Don't you?
That's-
Would- yeah,
absolutely.
sure, right. Or maybe 3. I mean, let's not get crazy.
Most virgins are psychotic.
So if
Yeah,
you're,
right.
if you're calling the shots, you want 3 then, huh?
If you make it all the way to heaven being a virgin,
Yep.
you've not lived a life.
You're probably right.
Yeah.
You're probably right.
I don't know where this virgin mill is.
No, but we were just always saying that my doctor isn't probably as concerned about my life because he knows I have this better afterlife. I'm thinking, what if that isn't really the case? Can you keep me on course while I'm here? You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So
Yeah, you don't want a doctor that's like
don't worry about
has
it.
a
You-
fatalist
just keep
vision.
Right, exactly.
Right. I want a guy
Exactly.
who's
Right.
invested in keeping me alive.
Let's pretend
Right,
I
there's no
don't get the
virgin.
77 virgins,
Right.
and I need to.
Right.
This is it
Sure.
to me. So let's
Yeah.
work on
I
that.
said, Rick, I think it's a myth. I think
Well,
it's a myth.
I know it's a myth. I hope my doctor knows it's a myth. That's my point. Because all right. So let me
All right.
talk. Let me tell you about.
So you didn't like the way I was going to take the story.
No, you can take with it. I want to run with it a little bit in the beginning. Only reason why I was thinking we were going to talk about you as a construction guru. I had a client come in. He wants to sell his landscaping business. Okay, this has an end result here, so don't worry.
Okay.
I doubt it.
Ooh, is this done yet? All right, landscaper guy comes in, wants to sell his business. I said, by the way, while you're here, can you look over my new landscaping agreement I just got from our present landscapers? So he's not trying to sell me or anything, but he looks through my landscaping agreement. And he says, well, why are you getting this? I go, I don't know. They've always just given me. He goes, well, this is to kill certain weeds. I go, yeah, well, don't you need that? He goes, no, that's if you have those weeds. It doesn't prevent anything. So this is, you don't really need that. He goes, why do you get this type of mulch? I go, I don't know. I'm relying on the landscaper.
Do you know who you're talking to?
I don't even know how to spell mulch.
No, I don't even know what it is.
I don't know
So-
why people buy it.
There you go. And that's what he was saying. He goes,
I like the way it looks.
but he was saying,
What isn't it the purpose of keeping moisture for your plants and stuff?
Yeah,
No.
but then every year you got to replace it, and then people
It's
build it
kinda-
up. There's sills inside.
Yeah.
There's
and
something
that's
on
what
the
he
wall.
was saying.
Well,
And I
it's
had
a
the
little
wrong,
bit-
evidently had the wrong mulch because it was all
I
gathering.
just like the way it looks.
It looks
and
good.
I hire someone to
Stone.
lay
But do you ask
stone.
him
Oh,
what
yeah.
do you
like
ask him
stone.
which
The way to
mulch to
go.
get?
You leave it. You never got to touch it again.
No,
Yeah.
yeah,
Might
I
not
like
be
the
as
color.
nice, but-
I
I know, but do you say give
No.
me mulch number 105
No, I like
in your
hemlock
catalog?
red.
Is that what you said? All right, because that's all I think we used to say, but I guess it's different. So my point is as a neophyte, I don't know what he's giving me. I'm just saying, yeah, go with it. He literally knocked off about $500-$600 worth of stuff off
Thank
that.
God.
I know. Could
Thank
pay
God.
you for one more week. I know. But so extrapolate that to new construction. I don't think buyers have any idea what
Of course they don't.
right. They don't have any idea.
You're going to
a
use
spec sheet.
You're going to use 100 2x8s.
Right. Okay.
Is that the best way to go? Yeah, that's the best way to go.
What's the difference between
How about
a
a 2x4?
2x6?
How about
Yeah.
a 2x4? Use
Yeah.
a 2x4 and save
Again,
me some money.
It's not even so much what you're getting; it's allowances that they give you.
Right.
A lot of guys will give you a $5,000 allowance for cabinets. I don't know where you can get cabinets for $5,000 or even
Right.
$10,000.
Right.
Most of my kitchens are $20,000 and over just on cabinets.
Right.
Then you
Yeah.
got the countertops and appliances.
Cabinets at $20,000.
Yes.
Some kitchens I do, I've spent into the 40s
Yeah.
just for
for
cabinets.
cabinets.
Yeah.
Another 10, 15 for countertops, and another 30 for appliances.
Really?
Yeah.
What do
That's
those
why
cabinets do for
Yeah.
40 grand?
That's why kitchen
And then they're rough-
renovations
They're
are
self-stocking.
so expensive.
They have self-stocking cabinets.
They do.
They do.
Every time you open the door, there's just stuff in there.
I would love that.
You don't have to.
I have a
go
lot of
buy it.
cabinets like that.
Yeah.
My mother-in-law has self-stocking cabinets.
Really? Yeah. You
Me
just
and
Yeah.
go in.
Stewie-
Stu Holtshouser
Me
and
and
Kathy Holtshouser.
Stewie go
by.
take her list, buy everything, and then
And
she doesn't
then-
remember that she saw us.
Yeah,
And Stu
yeah.
goes, "What do you mean? We were here yesterday. How do you think you got all that stuff in your cabinets?" And she's like, "Oh,
The little
It's kind of like my kids'
keyboard elves.
bank accounts. It's self-stocking too somehow.
Yeah, I got one of those too.
same."
It's like the bottomless cup of coffee.
Yeah.
They think they get a bottomless pit of money.
Hello, this isn't going to refill itself.
Well, the funniest thing is my kids are adults now. All of them are adults. My last one just graduated from
On paper.
college. Well,
Yeah, babe.
Exactly.
but I'm
Right.
done.
Right.
I'm done. You can live at my house, but they say, "Mom, there's no food." I say, "Too bad. You
Right,
won't,
yeah.
you have a car that I gave you.
Right.
You have money
Right.
that I
Yeah,
probably gave you
sure.
too. Go get some freaking food."
Sure.
Right. There you go.
Absolutely.
There you go.
Right.
Give it a little back.
Right.
Yeah.
25 years of parenting.
You're done.
Done.
I'm
I say
done.
that to myself. You know, I had that this morning. I was trying to run around, get the second car fixed, and it wasn't going to work out. So, blah, blah, blah. So I'm waiting for my son to come up, and I'm talking to my wife who's at work, and I go, "Well, Gus is going to come up. We're going to try to take the car over." She goes, "Oh, make him an omelet." I go,
No. That wasn't in my
that wasn't
plan.
in the plan. Oh, he loves an omelet. I go, I know, so do I.
Where's my omelet?
Where's my-
You love the 77 virgins. You don't see that happening.
I mean,
I take the
Oh,
omelet.
you should have made him an
I
omelet.
go, I just go, we're doing this, and that's what you don't have to add on. I don't know if you're paying attention. I already got shit to do. I don't need more stuff to
Add
do.
on.
Right.
Those add-ons will
listen,
kill you.
The worst call you get is, before you come back to the house, call me. No.
I didn't see your message.
No, I'm calling this plausible deniability.
Nice.
I don't know what you want, and I'm
Do,
not
do they make up
involved.
things just because you're out?
Yes.
I used to have that. Yeah.
Yeah. And it's
Rick,
always
you remember that one, right?
Oh, I remember that.
I said to my husband, I'm going to get plants. And he said,
Oh, yeah.
"Where?" And I said, "Oh, I saw
This
some
is the
beautiful
best.
ones at Home Depot."
You'll
He
like
goes,
this.
"Can you pick me up a couple of 2x8s?"
16-footers.
well,
Put them
and
on the
I'm like-
Lexus.
Well,
She's got a little Mazda.
Yeah.
sure.
Miata.
I was gone for 2 hours, and I needed to take a shower when I got back because I was sweating so bad trying to get those. First, I had to find one of those cots, right?
Yeah.
But the thing is, I had to make 2 or 3 trips because the plants took up all the
Sure,
room on the
that's what
cots.
you're-
And,
that's
I
the
was
worst.
one time he sent me for molding, and that was a
It's the
whole.
worst.
So every
I was-
time Kathy goes out for something at work, I say, "Can you bring back some 2x6s too?"
2x8s.
Well,
I mean,
2x8s,
2x4s are
2x4
small,
is
but the
small.
2x8s are very heavy.
They're twice as big.
Yeah.
Yeah.
All right.
You know, plus, technically, though, he's got you because at one point they were plants.
Right.
You know
That's
what
a
I
good
mean?
point.
Right.
That
That's
they,
fine.
you
Yeah.
know, it's a technicality.
But so he always sends me in the opposite direction.
Yes.
Of where I'm
Yeah,
going.
yeah,
I'm
yeah.
not going to
Yeah.
Home Depot.
No,
I'm
of course
not going to
No,
Lowe's.
but there's one there.
I know. It's just.
We could find one if you had it.
You're
I'm
talking
not
about
doing it
plants.
anymore.
Why don't you ask Sal about that? Mold.
Mold.
It can only attach to things that were living at one time, right?
What do you mean?
I'm not a mold expert,
Okay.
but I know you don't want it in your house.
Right.
No.
So you are an expert.
Thanks, Sal.
Mold loves
Thank
mold
you, and
loves
thanks
moisture.
for joining us on the Real Estate House Party.
We're done. Let's go.
And you say we don't give out good information.
Listen,
It's the best information
I
we've had in
can't
months.
give out information on something I don't.
Yeah.
No, you're
you know,
right.
like-
He's honest
You're
about it.
worried
You
about-
you don't want it in your
Don't
house.
worry, we have a lot of disclaimers.
What do
by the
you
end of the
mean
show.
about mold?
It
So,
loves
in other words,
moisture. It loves
Right,
moisture.
right.
I know, but the
But it can't
moisture
go
isn't
on.
alive.
Right, but it can't go on, like that table right there. It has to be wood, or something that you.
Oh, I see what you
yeah,
mean.
yeah. Which
I
I
know-
always
I know.
thought it could be on tile and.
It can be.
Well,
Again,
we're going to bring on a mold
Yeah.
expert, and I'm going to ask.
It can be because I've seen it.
You've seen
and the
it?
tile
That's
in my bathroom.
That was my question.
Right. But it's usually in the cracks in the grout, right?
Right,
Right.
but is the grout?
But is that
do
really mold? So we're going to get a mold expert on that.
That is mold.
So, are you sure?
Yeah, but it's sealed mold.
Sealed mold.
You guys are just making stuff up at
just be
this
somebody
point.
who's dirty,
Can
too.
you
How
be
do you
like
know?
Sal? Look at Jonathan saying, "What time is this show over?"
I think technically it's considered mildew if it's in the tile.
Oh,
Thank you.
Ah,
that was my
Mr. Jonathan.
And it's,
Yeah.
and it-
I can leave.
it's your skin cells that have essentially begun to rot inside the tile that have collected in the grooves.
Thank you. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you should rip out your whole bathroom and start over, right?
Well, if we
Can
were
you
going
tell
to
us
do that, yeah.
you should rip out the
No, he's
entire
got enough
bathroom.
projects going on.
Or just have your entire body laminated.
Yeah.
There you go.
So you don't give
have
out
to, you don't
skin
give out
cells,
skin
yeah.
cells. Sure.
Or just have them in the bubble ball.
Or put yourself in a bubble ball.
Why?
Sure.
Why did you only have that for the elderly? Maybe everyone should have a bubble ball.
You know about the bubble
That-
ball, right?
Yeah, what's a bubble ball? What
Oh,
am I missing?
So I
The
think we
latest
talked about
invention.
this, yeah, but we had
Yeah.
a elder care specialist on that ran a home care for
Old-
the elderly.
Old friend of mine.
And then
No longer.
No, what?
and Tony comes up with the idea to put every elderly person in a big, huge bubble so they could bounce through the
Right. So
the
no one would
holes
ever be
and-
injured.
You know those bubbles that they have this
Absolutely.
hollow in the middle and they play soccer in
Yeah.
them or, whatever?
Can't get hurt.
No,
Can't get
this
hurt.
is what I'm saying. They don't fall. They just roll. You got to get them someplace they don't want to go. You roll them.
Think of the tennis balls you're saving.
Right.
I know.
They get,
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
And walkers.
The walker,
That was
sure.
a-
I knew
was a
exactly
Walker
what you
reference,
meant.
okay.
I
knew
did too.
We knew what you meant. Maybe we should have a best of some show. But if you don't, and you want to see some of our old shows, you
What do you
should
do?
subscribe to YouTube,
Yeah.
Correct.
Real Estate House Party. Like and comment. Am I right? Ryan
Absolutely.
Carter reminds me of all this
Yes,
all the
of course.
time.
Like and comment.
Like and comment
And subscribe.
on YouTube. Real Estate House Party.
Don't miss out because we have a
All right.
lot of
All right.
downloads.
That was our last ad. Now we're going to get
A
back
lot
to
of
Sal.
great information
So-
there, too.
Yeah, ask me about some more stuff I know nothing about.
All right.
All right. So Sal.
How about fathers?
That's good. Apparently, I know nothing about fathers either. That's good.
All right. You might have to explain that, Chuck. You want to explain that, Sal, while we're here?
Sure.
Yeah.
Before the show started, we were talking about the fact that I found out a year and a half ago my dad wasn't my dad. And Tony wanted to remind me that again. So that was good.
I want to remind you of that bitter
I
time.
did.
And then I had my dad's best friend who was going to introduce me to my real dad, and then he died.
So everybody
all right, so
involved
it's been
has
good.
died.
All right.
So
But-
maybe you better step away from this
But
situation.
no, but
All right.
it's
So we
good,
got a
'cause-
lot of questions for you. How did you find out? Who told you a year and a half ago?
Well, my mother told me back in '91.
On accident.
And you didn't believe it?
No, and then when he passed
Ignored.
away a year and a half ago, I
Said,
said,
oh, by the way.
yeah. By the
Okay.
way, I'm a slut. No. Can I say that on this?
You can say anything you want.
Don't worry about it. We'll edit it later on.
So,
Now we've got it covered. We got virgins and sluts. Everything is
Yeah.
fine.
Hey,
so
Anything in between.
I confirmed with the swab kit with the sibling. So my brother lives here in New Hampshire, so I drove up here with 8 long Q-tips in my passenger seat.
Yeah.
And I swabbed
Who
this.
doesn't?
Yeah, I mean, you get pulled over explaining
Did
that
he even
one,
have
right?
to explain that? No. That's a little
So,
redundant.
Who doesn't?
So I had to swab his cheeks,
All right.
male, and wait for results. But they didn't tell me which cheek, so he's not even talking to me. And it turns out he has shit for brains, but we knew that.
All right. How many siblings do you have?
Just one brother left. I had a older brother and sister who have passed away.
Okay.
So I have
Ooh.
one brother left. Yep.
All right. So.
But that's not the same father, right? Is that
yeah,
what
so
you're
technically, I guess now they're halves. It could even be quarters. I don't even know anymore.
right? Now you're
mean,
really confused.
I could be
You.
Elizabeth Warren's brother. I don't even know at this point. I could be part Indian.
Okay.
Let's think of the positives. You've just cut down your Christmas list hugely.
I have a really short Christmas list, and I kind of like it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And the other positive, as we were saying earlier, you have a lot of material for your new act, right?
Which I needed. Yeah.
Yeah.
If you saw my act, you know I could have used the material. I mean,
So you're not making this stuff up.
it took a
right?
little death to come up with a new act, but hey, if I can make
And-
someone laugh, why not?
Now,
right?
should we
and
talk
finding
about-
out that
should-
your father wasn't your father, right?
Yeah, and
it was like a
technically,
gift.
this is kind of real estate related, right? Because I had no home, I want a home. It's kind of
Yeah,
all
right.
It all
intertwined.
Right.
comes around.
Foster
So
home.
your
it's-
mother, I'm just curious about this. Your mother, oh, by the way, Sal, how did that subject even get broached?
That's kind of how it.
Really?
Yeah. Then I was like, what? And then she's like, nah, never mind. And it's like,
I would
how do you
put
forget
her
that?
in a like a
Yeah.
What do they call that?
Oh yeah,
chokehold.
A chokehold
Yeah.
until
Yeah,
she
yeah.
told me at
Yeah.
that point.
I mean, you know.
you can't really go around noogieing your mother.
Well, you can.
Maybe
I mean,
after she says something like
misbehaving.
that.
Yeah, maybe.
I
You
mean,
know?
Yeah.
That's we didn't have Planned Parenthood back in '70s, but they
No.
weren't as efficient, I should say.
No.
I mean, apparently I was supposed to hit the headboard. I don't know, but I'm here and I'm looking for my dad. I'm like Nemo. I'm like Nemo. I'm looking
Yeah.
for my dad.
Yeah.
Right? That's my nickname, Nemo.
Kathy goes on me all the time because she'll watch these shows again. She goes, "You laugh almost that entire show." I go, "Well, it's funny."
I know, but we need to get.
we're not
some-
going to get because we got to ask about Tony's family now.
No, we have to at least
All right,
3
all right.
points. Sorry,
All
Tony.
right.
All right.
All right.
Just let
So,
me
all
finish
right.
with this. To the best of my knowledge, my dad is not Sal's.
That's good.
And Tony is not my dad.
And yeah, right.
Tony is not
Nor
my
are
dad.
we siblings, as
No.
far as we know.
Not
All
even-
right. So if someone comes to you, what should a well no. What if someone comes to a contractor? What should they be doing to cover themselves? How's that? A contract, I imagine?
You're talking about how can a homeowner protect themselves? Is that what-
Yes.
yeah.
Well, how do they know what they're getting?
Right.
They will halfway through the job when they're in court with Judge Judy. They really don't. And this is kind of one of the things I was talking to you about is
Yes.
offering a service where you can review contracts, have myself or someone in the office that can review and actually look at it because it's a big process.
Sal, it'll be you.
I mean,
Yeah, we're
I
not-
just did a job. This guy gave me $600,000. How does this guy know what I'm giving him for that $600,000?
Right.
That's what I'm
a
asking.
lot of money.
Right.
And how does he know when I give him a contract is enough to even finish the job?
All right. So you do
Well,
it.
right.
There's a lot.
So some contractors will underbid the job to get it, and then before you know it, they're running in the red, and then they go to the homeowner and they say, "Guess what? I'm short $70,000," and now you have a job that's unfinished and a homeowner that doesn't have $70,000 extra, so you got a problem.
Absolutely. I mean, a homeowner could sue the contractor if you have a contract that stipulates they're going to finish this house, key to the front door. But if the contractor doesn't have it, he doesn't have it.
Right.
You still
Right.
have a
So
house
who do you
that's unfinished.
sue? You
Right.
sue him, and he doesn't.
But is there language in there that gives leeway to the contractor that says, like I knew when I had my house done over years ago, they said once we pull off the walls, get down to the studs, we won't know if there's anything we don't know right now.
Right.
Correct. Yeah.
Right. So do you build that in as an overage or?
Well, you should have that in your language. And
Right.
then when you open the wall up, if you found the wall to be rotted out and had to be structurally fixed,
Right.
do a change order before the work's done.
Before it's right.
Contractors should figure out material and labor and a time frame. That time should also be added to the contract, and then you move forward. I know a lot of contractors that will just say, don't worry about it, I'll bill you out later, and then at the end of the job, 30, 40
Big
grand.
surprise.
And the
yeah.
homeowner doesn't know.
Right.
I mean, who has 30, 40 grand
No
laying
one.
around?
Well, some people
There's
do,
another
but-
phrase that should be critiqued. Don't worry about it.
Oh, no, please.
Well, don't
worry,
you think-
anytime someone says that, worry about
Don't
it.
Don't
worry
you think
about it.
if somebody's building a house, I would think that they've done their homework, right? So
Well, that's a good point. What homework should they do? Should they call? And,
they should know how much a house is going to cost, essentially, whatever.
But would they
and
be
then
able
they
to?
upgrade to granite, upgrade to hardwoods, because you, the professional, are going to hand them let's just call it a spec house and then but they don't want rugs, they want hardwood, so that's going to cost you an extra $5,000 or $6,000 or $7,000. So you have something to build on. Is how I would, if I was building a house, that's what I would do. Give me the quote for a spec house, and then I'm going to tell you what I want different, and then we can talk about price.
The way I do it, I break my contract down in two phases. It's fixed cost and it's an allowance cost.
Yeah.
Right.
And every single, even like the kitchen, it's cabinets, it's even knobs. People don't think about knobs.
Is that
but people
fixed
go
or
and
is
spend
that
$700
allowance?
for knobs. That's
Right.
a lot of money.
Right.
Right.
All those $700 fees add up to thousands by the time a job's done. So
Yeah.
I
Right.
break down everything that the customer will go out and shop for themselves, and they don't pick it up. I'll pick it up for them. And if it's less, they get a credit. If it's more, they pay the difference.
Right.
But that's not always the case with a lot of contractors, right?
No, and a lot of homeowners think they start going shopping. They pick out a $80 a square foot counter when it was really only figured for $40, and then they get a bill afterwards and they're shocked.
Right.
Right.
So it all comes down to having a builder or a business person that has a little integrity too, and they're upfront with stuff like that.
I heard virgins are cheap labor.
Very cheap.
Yeah, if you had 77 virgins, you could just put them to work building your house.
So if you die, you can get your perfect kitchen.
Right.
Yeah. All right.
At little or no,
Virgins and granite.
Right.
How can you go wrong?
Right.
goes wrong with
At
that?
little or no out-of-pocket cost.
You as a contractor, not sure which way you'd go with that one, right?
I'm going to stay away from that. that.
Yeah.
We'll leave it up to, we'll leave the virgins for
He's
Doug.
gonna. He's said enough dirty jokes today.
It's not nothing dirty about that. I'm just saying.
I had this comedian.
You get the virgins. They're yours to do what you want.
They're gonna be tired at the end of the day building the house, though. So they might not.
Good
be
deal
that-
for them. If you had a choice of having to be with me
so serious,
or
doesn't he?
building a house, you'd go with the house every time.
9 out of 10.
9 out of 10 times.
Okay.
Right.
I used to have a comedian friend who would say, "Naked girl, pie."
Pie. Sure.
We all know who that is, and we know what his answer
I wasn't
is.
sure if he wanted. He keeps throwing out his stuff, and
It would
He
depend.
says pie
Pie.
all day long.
But
Blueberry pie, you gotta love
say-
it.
You gotta love it.
hey, naked girl, what kind
What
of
kind
pie
of pie?
is
It
it?
depends on the pie.
You don't have to cuddle with a pie after.
No, that's right.
All right. So, do you give out contracts to your respective clients coming in?
Absolutely. And
The $600,000 guy. What did he do? He pulled in and says, "I got $600,000 to do what?"
well, again, this is the first time I've actually done a job with no contract, and it was time and material, and that's the way the homeowner wanted it, and he just gave me money every 10 days. But you should have a contract.
Yeah.
And in Massachusetts, if you're doing remodeling under the HIC contract, $1,000 or more, you have to have a contract by law.
Oh.
It's required.
That's good to know.
It's required.
Right.
So how much time do you spend with the homeowner or the potential or the person that's buying the new house? How much time do you spend on that contract?
I probably have total administrative work for permits, paperwork, contract, probably about 40 hours. I spend a lot.
Right,
Of,
so that's what people don't
It's equivalent of a
understand.
week's work.
Yeah.
Right.
To have it. If I'm going to be doing a 6-month project, there's a lot to think about.
Right.
And if I rush into it just to get going, I'm going to pay the price. My customers.
Do most contracts say, "I'm not paying till it's completely done"? I always see this as the biggest problem with contracts. They want the money up front. There's still a few things. Don't worry about. We'll get to it. Like the cleanup. A lot of contractors seem to run into
Which makes a big mess.
Makes a big mess.
When you got to clean the windows and
no,
scrape all the.
We're pretty much done. We got the contract done, and yeah, there's nails all over. There's boards. there's
Anybody that has
clean-
OCD
You haven't
can't
seen my
stand
job.
that.
My job's a spotless.
Okay, so that's what I was
But-
asking you. But
you should never pay, and it should be stipulated in the contract what you're going to hold, because it's not fair for a good contractor. I've had homeowners hold thousands of dollars more than they should. So you still have people to pay. If I don't pay
Right.
my subcontractors,
They're not showing up.
they're going to start putting liens on your property too. So you got to. But again, a good contractor will
let
make
me
sure a
ask you
payment
about that,
schedule.
Sal.
So,
So,
yeah.
a subcontractor. I'm sorry. Go ahead.
No, you go.
No, I'm just saying a subcontractor, even though they haven't directly dealt with the homeowner, could put a mechanic lien on that property.
If the homeowner gives me authorization, I'm under contract. I'm their agent. If
Yep.
I hire somebody, I'm responsible. Yes, that person can put a lien on a property.
Let me ask you
again.
this.
They need a contract. They can't just be Joe
be Will.
Schmo.
It's not
But
the
if they-
subcontractor's contract. It's your contract under them.
With the homeowner.
But they still supply materials to that property.
Right.
All right, let me ask you this. You don't pay for the materials. You have some arrangement with the lumber yard.
Yeah.
For 3 months down the road after it's done, if you had a good relationship with 3 months, you can pay them within 3 months of the. If you don't pay that, can that lumber company put a lien on your house? House?
If I sign a form, typically I have a line of credit with, say, Monahan Lumber.
Yeah.
Yep.
And that's my responsibility. I usually don't go too high, 5 or 10 grand. They're not going
Yep.
to come after the property owner. But if I'm doing a whole house and I'm going to have 50, 60, 100,000 worth, they will basically have me sign a form with the homeowner. And the homeowner will sign it as well. So
Yeah.
if we do not pay that, they can lien the property to get their money
All right,
back.
because I don't think a lot of people know that.
But the thing is, you're not gonna screw the lumberyard because that's your go-to. Those are your guys.
But we're not
right?
worried about Sal. We're talking about the unscrupulous contractor out there.
No, I know.
I'm actually too good of a contractor. I actually pay people too fast. And I know that sounds crazy, but I'll pay a guy that I work with for many years. He'll have a day left or a couple of hours, or he'll be 100% done and he just doesn't have his sign-off, and I'll give him his last check, and I might call the inspector and get my sign-off for me.
Right.
And then I got to chase him for a week. So if I was a contractor or a homeowner, I wouldn't pay anybody in full until they get their sign-off from the town.
Right.
So you should pay a little up front, little in the middle, little at the end.
You should have a payment.
should be a schedule.
You should have,
Yeah.
and you're also required to have a payment schedule and a starting and a tentative finish date.
Well, listen, if you're
as well.
getting a loan from a lender, they have a schedule.
Right.
They say like after the foundation is poured, we will give give the builder $25,000,
Yep.
or after this is done,
There's
we
a
give
lot.
another. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yep,
so
they hold-
they are on, and the lender is on that
Do
schedule.
you deal with
Right.
the lenders a lot like that?
This past job I didn't, which was nice because the homeowner just had the money to give me. But
Okay.
like you just said, if I have a lender, if the foundation is 25,000 and it's done, a lot of times they'll hold 10% of
Right.
each phase, and then they give you that money at the end of the job. Again, when everything's done, it's done right and it's signed off. Because if you don't get the job signed off, you're not going to get an occupancy permit.
Right.
Certificate. You can't move into a house without an occupancy
Right.
certificate. People do it all the time.
What's an occupancy permit?
It's
Don't look at me like
no,
that.
It's the town
Softball.
giving you permission that everything was done to code. The house is safe to live in, and that's the
And all the
electrical.
different boards sign off on it,
Yep.
right?
If zoning was involved, they might want to sign off planning, but typically electrical, plumbing, fire, and building.
Yeah.
Yep. So they all have to sign off.
Correct.
Yep.
And then
Yep.
you'll get a certificate that you can now occupy the property. People move in houses all the time.
You know, we
Without
get a
it.
lot of resistance from the builder. I'm sorry, from the buyer, is because a lot of the builders' contracts say once I get that certificate of occupancy, if I get that CO, we have to close. We're not holding anything back.
But there could be things that
Correct.
aren't right.
Right,
That
so-
aren't right. Little things
So
like
Sal,
molding.
right. So
wrong,
Sal, do you
or-
agree with what Kathy's saying? So 95% of the work can be done. So the developer or contractor will say, listen, I said in the contract, once I get that certificate of occupancy, then we have to close. Whereas there's still that 5% left.
Yep.
But that's what a walkthrough
hold
is
it.
for.
That's when you put money in escrow.
Right.
Yep.
If it was my client as an attorney, I would say, all right, you want to close on the loan, but you're not done. We're going to hold 20,000.
Yep.
I'm not
whatever.
closing until it's done, because there's a good chance that builder or contractor is going off to another house, and now I'm nobody to them
Very
because they've
possible.
gotten their money and they're done with
Right.
me. And I'm sorry, that's the way it is.
You know,
mostly.
This gets me, because this is so complicated, right? This gets me to last Saturday. I was driving through, coming out of New York City,
Yep.
right?
Yep.
And I was on the East Side Drive, and I saw a homeless guy who had the sweetest setup in the world. He had 2 benches with like a tarp over it, a beautiful view of the river. He was drinking some kind of a shake or protein thing out of a bag. He just looked like the picture of contentment. And I went, maybe we overthink things.
Yes. You're right,
You might be
100%.
right.
You know what he looked like the happiest guy in
Did
the
he have
world.
a shopping cart filled with all
He
his
had a
stuff,
shopping
so
cart.
it doesn't bog him down too much?
Yeah.
Give him time. He'll need a permit for that.
See, this
You
is
need
what
a permit for everything.
someone will screw that up for him.
Yep.
We're going to give credit to Greg Murphy on this one, but he was talking about the homeless guy who found a bag of cash, literally a duffel bag of cash.
Oh, yeah.
Brought
return.
it back to the police station, and you know what they gave him for an award?
Yeah, plaque.
A plaque
To hang.
for
To hang in his non-house.
for his cardboard house.
Right.
Yeah,
But you can put it on the back of the bench.
Yeah, like he
Dedicated this
yeah,
bench seat
sure.
to this guy who's an idiot for giving back $100,000.
Idiot of the year.
Yeah, Idiot of the Year award.
All right, time
That's
has
it.
flown
Yeah.
by, Sal. We might have to get you back again. We always think we're going to get through everything.
You know,
but
can you figure out the mold thing and get back to us on that?
Well, I thought
Jonathan helped out.
we're going to get a mold expert. There's got to
We're
be
gonna get a
one.
mold expert.
Just remember, you need ventilation.
Sal, so what-
People have mold problems because they have inadequate ventilation.
I
in
hear
their
our
house.
So we
music
can
playing.
also talk about insulation the next time you come
We
on,
can.
because you're a pro at that.
Then I will never have mold. I am
Tony-
completely ventilated.
Don't-
and you're not moist.
No, not
today.
Not today.
moist and unventilated.
Yeah,
Sounds like a virgin.
that's the way to go.
Oh,
There you
don't
go.
forget to subscribe if you want to. Real Estate House
Sorry
Party.
for using the M word.
I know you. That was
You're the one that hates
you're the
it.
one who hates it.
I
I
know.
know. Sal
Moist.
Votano
My
with
wife
no
hates
L.
that word too.
Yeah.
Oh, all girls do for some reason there. So,
Moist.
if you want to come back, we're going to have a great moist show next week.
All about moisture.
It's all about moist and mold and 77 more virgins.
All the M words.
All right. And thank you, Sal.
Yeah, thanks for
Appreciate
having
it.
me.
Here at the Real Estate House Party, don't forget to subscribe, like, comment.
Yeah.
Yeah. See you next week. Bye-bye.
The views and opinions expressed by the hosts, guests, or callers of this program do not necessarily reflect the opinions of the Studio 21 Podcast Cafe, the United Podcast Network, its partners, or affiliates.